Oh my god, I'm not dead. We actually have content to talk about today. Holy shit, I cannot use that. Fuck. Art piles are nothing new to the Pokemon TCG. We've seen Arceus paired with Duraludon early on. We saw Arceus paired with Flying Pikachu to counter Origin Form Palkia V-Star. We've seen Arcdura evolve into Arcdura with Umbreon VMAX. We even saw Arceus get paired up with Giratina V-Star for a high power combo. And lately, sometimes I've been seeing Arceus V-Star paired with Aerodactyl V-Star and Klefki. So, Arc piles have been around for a while, since Arceus V-Star came into the game with the release of Brilliant Stars. But today, I'm going to be talking about an Arc pile that I made. Arceus V-Star paired with Aggron V and Slaking V. Let's talk about why I chose those two to pair with Arceus V-Star. So Arceus V-Star has the powerful Trinity Nova attack, which for 3 colorless energy, you can do 200 damage and attach 3 basic energies from your deck to your Pokemon V in any way you like. Then you shuffle your deck. Arceus V-Star also has the well-known Starbirth V-Star power, which lets you search up your deck for up to 2 cards of any kind and put them into your hand. That can be game-changing. You can win a game with just Starbirth by itself, but Trinity Nova is definitely the star of the show here. Doing 200 damage is no joke. That is a non-trivial amount of damage, and getting that damage into play alongside with accelerating energy into play is a very powerful combination. So let's talk about why I paired it with Slaking V and Aggron V. Let's talk about Slaking V first, because you'll notice that there is a distinct lack of Aggron VMAX, and there is a reason why, and that reason is Slaking V. Slaking V has heavy impact for its attack. It costs 4 colorless energy, and it does 260 damage. It has the ability Kinda Lazy. If you have exactly 2, 4, or 6 prize cards remaining, this Pokemon cannot attack. Now that might sound kind of cringe and kind of bad, and you'd be right, it is a terrible ability, but when you combine it with Path to the Peak and the Spiritomb that says basic Pokemon V in play, both yours and your opponents have no abilities, Slaking V then becomes a huge threat. Being able to do 260 is a lot of damage, which can end up cleaning up whatever Arceus V-Star cannot knock out with its 200 attack, or 180 if you attach a double turbo to it. Slaking can, do 260, and then paired with the Choice Belt, it can do 290, knocking out most relevant V-Stars in the game before V-Guard energy. Now, if they do have the V-Guard energy, that's why we have the Aggron V. Aggron V's first attack, Rock Slide, does 90 damage, and the secondary effect is it can do 30 damage to 2 of your opponent's benched Pokemon, and you don't apply weakness or resistance for the benched Pokemon. So this, alongside with being able to spread a little bit of damage, you can clean up whatever Slaking doesn't KO, or you can clean up whatever Arceus V-Star doesn't KO. And because of that, you are able to start spreading damage and then prep for a Merciless Strike later down the road, which does 150 plus 150 more if your opponent's active already has damage counters on it. The idea is to use Arceus V-Star to power up a Slaking or an Aggron. You can accelerate 3 energy into play, maybe power up an Aggron V with 3 metal, do 90 damage to KO the active or whatever, and then spread 30 damage around, maybe switch into a Slaking V that might be powered up with 2 metal and a double turbo, something like that, or 3 metal and a jet energy, which is also played in this deck. You can jet energy onto the Slaking, do 260, switch into Arceus V-Star, take the KO, power up an Aggron V, play a Switch, or an Escape Rope, which this deck has one of each, swing with Rock Slide, do 90 damage, spread some damage around, and then in the end game you can attach one of your final few double turbo energies to do 280 with Merciless Strike instead of the 300 it would be, because double turbo removes 20 damage. But yeah, this combo seems to be pretty good actually. And with the release of the Bravery Charm in PAL Evolved, your Slaking V and your Aggron V can go up to 280 HP. It is a 280 HP V Pokemon, which is just ridiculous. That is a lot of HP for any Pokemon to try to go through. To pair with these V Pokemon are our drawing support. So we have Bibarel, we have Optimal Doof, doesn't take damage counters, or doesn't take damage on the bench, so Greninja cannot KO this, which gives you the opportunity to evolve into Bibarel and start drawing some cards. Now, if you do have 5 cards or more in your hands, then you can't use Bibarel, which is what the Skwovet is here for. You can pitch your hand down to the bottom of your deck, and then draw 1 from the top, and that allows you to draw and dig a little bit deeper with the Bibarel. Now, because Skwovet and Bibarel go so well together, I did pair this with 3 Ionos instead of Professor's Research. Sometimes you just don't want to like discard your hand, so you just pitch your hand to the bottom of your deck instead of to the discard pile. Draw from the top, and you keep digging until you find what you need, and that's what Iono helps you with. It could help you save some resources like a Cheren's Care, a Bravery Charm, Escape Rope, Switch, Raihan, things like that, right? Things that you don't really want to discard off of Research. I play 4 Path to the Peak because Path is hands down the best stadium in the game right now. It just shuts down every Rulebox Pokemon, which every deck is playing. Every meta-relevant deck is playing, so... or, I guess, most. With the exception of, like, Lost Zone Ogre or something. But I digress. Path to the Peak is my stadium of choice. We are running 4 of those. Quad Boss, just to be annoying. Boss's orders can come in real handy, especially when you're trying to clean up something with an Aggron V or a Slaking V. If you see that you can't take the K on the active, Boss's orders, put some damage into play, spread some damage around with Aggron V or something like that. For Judge, just because Judge is still a very powerful card, Path Judge is insane still, so don't sleep on Path Judge, it will mess you up. As for the energy count, of course, 4 double turbo. I'm running 1 V-Guard energy just because if, you know, I do only have a lone Arceus in the active and no V-Star, I can V-Guard, and then the turn before I can attach for turn with a metal energy and still be safe from a Lugia KO. So there's that, and then we run 7 metal energy for the Aggron and the Slaking. But yeah, that is the deck. That's how it runs. Let's just get into some gameplay footage, and yeah, I'll do some post commentary over the game. And the game of choice will be my Arc Pile versus a item control deck. Alright, let's just get into this gameplay footage. I'm just going to be post-commentating over, I guess, what I'm trying to think about as I go into this matchup and trying to predict, you know, what my opponent is playing, stuff like that. So, let's just talk about this match. Looks like my top deck was a double turbo energy, which is great because I have Arceus V-Star in the hand, and I have 2 Path, 2 Judge, and an Ultra Ball. I think at this point I'm definitely considering grabbing something like another V Pokemon to set up, or even a Bidoof. It looks like I decided to go with Aggron V, and then I decided to be super aggressive and play the Path turn on anyway, because if this is Gardevoir EX, then I don't want them to Radiant Greninja or use their Zacian V. Now I see them play the Radiant Alakazam, and I think to myself, what is this? And then they grab Shuppet off the level ball, and I think to myself, okay, I think I know what this is. This is Item Lock. So Item Lock actually did pretty well at Legal Regionals. Very interesting deck for sure. They hit me with an Iono, which I end up getting Arceus VSTAR, Slaking, Judge, Boss, Nest Ball, and Bravery Charm all in one go, which is so sick. Now I'm trying to think about what I want to do in my next turn, because I honestly don't care if they memory skip me, because I am just going to evolve into Arceus VSTAR anyway. If they don't bump the stadium, then yeah, I cannot Starbirth, but that's fine, because I can probably judge myself into another Basic Energy, a V-Guard, Jet Energy, whatever, right? So I have my outs. My top deck was another Nest Ball, which is actually pretty huge, because now I can Nest Ball for something like Spiritomb and Bidoof. I attach Bravery Charm to Slaking V, because Slaking V is going to be my biggest heavy hitter. I Nest Ball, and I think I'm looking for Skwovet here, but it looks like I don't have a Skwovet. Grabbing Aggron here is actually incorrect. I think you always go for the Spiritomb anyway, because against item lock, I'm not going to be able to use Switch. Because now I can't play both the Skwovet and the Spiritomb. I have to pick between the two, so grabbing Aggron there is actually wrong, but that's fine. I think I see why, though. It's because I was trying to thin my deck, but, like, in the moment, I thought it was correct, but, like, grabbing Spiritomb is definitely better here. So, bad past Astra. Should have grabbed, Spiritomb instead, because... you'll see, well, I won't say anything, but there's a reason why we definitely grab Spiritomb, because if I get boss stalled and I can't switch out, then that's real bad. There's the Banette EX, and it did confirm my suspicions that, yeah, they're going to hit me with an Everlasting Darkness for 1 energy and then prevent me from playing items, which is why I played down that Bravery Charm immediately when I got it, because I was like, yeah, there's probably not going to be any more chances for me to play that. I get maybe 1 or 2 more turns to play that card. Looks like they are going to boss stall my Aggron V, which sucks. So we're going to have to figure out a way around that. They go ahead and use Mew's Restart after Lost Vacuum away my path. Makes sense to me. Looks like they didn't hit the energy, so they might end up retreating here, because you definitely don't want to give up 2 prizes here. They're trying to shop it, makes sense. Give up a 1 prizer if I do find a way to switch, which I do with Starbirth, so... Top deck boss, I immediately play my Bravery Charm, because, again, I'm probably going to have, like, maybe 1 more turn after this that I can play items before I get item lock. Here I played the Iono first, because I don't want to use Starbirth if I, like, draw into the thing I need, so... Smart. That's pretty good. Starbirth here. Off the Starbirth, I grab Switch, and it definitely should be Bibarel. I think I changed my mind. Oh, no, I did go with Bibarel. Yeah, Bibarel's pretty smart here. I looked for Skwovet earlier, and there definitely was not a Skwovet in there, so I'm trying to hope I get Skwovet off the prizes, but I don't think I will. Ultra Ball, not really too useful right now, so wish I could have had that Ultra Ball already, but that's fine. Putting 30 damage on the Banette actually ends up mattering in the end, because you will want to be able to one-shot a Banette with Aggron V. I did end up getting the Skwovet, which is actually insane. It's pretty good. Here, Alakazam can't move damage counters around, which is good. We don't want that, so... They did find the other out to path, which sucks. I'm gonna level ball, probably Furcurlia, yeah. If they boss stall me again, that's pretty bad, because I can't play items this turn if they find energy. Because Mew has free retreat, so I can just retreat into Banette, and then it's pretty bad from there. Because then I have to rely on my Jet energy to be able to get out of a boss stall tactic, so it's pretty bad. Pretty tough situation to be in. Looks like I can play Fog Crystal. I don't know what for, though. Looks like an energy. Ultra Ball away 2 energies. Interesting. Maybe grabbing Lumineon off this so that they can boss stall with Aggron. I don't know, because they haven't played a supporter this turn yet. Yep, there's the Lumineon. I think we're probably going to be seeing a boss stall. Yep, there's the boss's orders. They'll gust up my Aggron V with no energies on it, because it has the most retreat cost. It makes sense. Slaking already has 2 energy on it. I just need 1 more to retreat. So hit me with a restart, switch into Banette EX, and then item lock me. And they pretty much have me item locked for the rest of the game if I can't figure something out here. It is a tough situation to be in for sure, which is why I played out all of the items I could. So no Nest Ball, no Ultra Balls for me. I can play V-Guard if I want to. I don't know where I would put that. Maybe on the Slaking V. That does seem to make the most sense, because then I can jet energy onto Slaking V and still do 240. I'll play Judge here just to, you know, hopefully find something. I did find the jet energy, which is huge. I will play out my hand down to 3 so that I can draw a little bit more with Industrious. That makes a lot of sense as well. Finds the path again. I probably should slam path down again just to prevent them from using Radiant Alakazam, or like maybe playing like Gardevoir EX here, because I know this is paired with Gardevoir EX. Otherwise, why else would you use the Curly engine? So they just had the third out to path, which is stupid, but they just had it, so can't be too upset about that. Now my Aggron has 5 retreat costs, which sucks. That is real tough. Also, this is where it comes to bite me back for not grabbing the Spiritomb. Next turn, I'm not going to be able to jet energy onto Slaking and attack with Slaking because my ability is still in play. So I'm hoping to Iono myself into path to the peak, and hopefully being able to attack because path shuts down my Slaking, but let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens. So Ultra Ball and Nest Ball can't play either of those. I can jet energy first. I think you always jet energy first, just to get that 4th energy onto Slaking to attack if I do find the thing, and if I don't find the thing, I can just retreat, because now my Slaking's retreat cost is 4 instead of 3. But I can still retreat. It is going to be a hefty retreat, but I can still retreat, which is huge, because now I have to force them to have a 3rd boss to stall me out. I'm not going to bench Slaking here. I want that open bench spot for a Skwovet. I top deck a boss's orders, not really what I'm looking for. I can't attack because I'm kind of lazy, so here I could switch into Arceus VSTAR and swing to accelerate some energy onto Aggron V. Or I could switch into Aggron V and do a little bit of spread damage. I decided to just pass the turn just to see if I top deck Skwovet or Path or a way to keep digging. So I give it 1 more turn basically to decide if I want to retreat or not. Because I know they're not taking a KO this turn. It's going to take a lot for them to take a KO. They're powering up another Shuppet here to turn into another Banette. Makes a lot of sense. And they hit me with another Everlasting Darkness. This time they don't move around any damage counters, which is good. Top deck a Bibarel. Not particularly great. I'll attach a DTE onto Aggron just because Aggron only needs 1 metal to attack with its first attack, which is fine. So here I made the wrong decision. You definitely want to gust up Luminion and force them to have an out to their Calamitous Wasteland, because here they can accelerate 3 energies onto Radiant Kazam and still retreat. I did find the Skwovet, which is massive. So we do bench Skwovet and we do Nest Dash for 1, and even that 1 does matter. So it ends up being a Judge. Like, Judge is still good, you know. I still end up passing here. But yeah, overall the turn was good, but like I still can't attack, which is not as great. bossing up the Radiant Kazam, like I said, was not the move. You definitely want to boss up Lumineon and force them to have a retreat. Because now they're just going to accelerate energy with their Gardevoir Psychic Embrace onto Radiant Alakazam. They accelerate 2 energy at first before they realize that Calamitous Wasteland forces them to attach another energy to retreat back into the Banette EX. So yeah, right now they're just like, wait, why can't I retreat? But yeah, I honestly thought they were just gonna attack me with the Radiant Alakazam, but no, they just forgot that Calamitous Wasteland forces them to attach another energy. So they'll just retreat back into Banette EX. Again, should have stalled by promoting their Lumineon, because then I could just go... excuse me. I could just go retreat into Arceus V-Star, KO Lumineon, and then find a double turbo, attach onto Aggron V, and dig for a boss to KO a Banette. But now that option is locked out for me. I cannot do that anymore. So I would have had the game with my prize mapping of 2-2, but now we just gotta try to figure something else out. Especially now that my Aggron V with 20 damage on it is in play. That should have been, once again, a Spiritomb. Otherwise, this game would have been over. So let's see what past Astra can cook up here, because it's not looking good for my past self. Escape rope, can't play that. So we're gonna Nest Dash. Arc, Bibarel. Actually, Cheren's Care would be kind of huge here, but I don't find it. So I think here's where I'm considering switching. I really should put some damage into play this turn, because if I don't, that's really bad. So let's see what my past self does here. Since I already have the energy in hand, I just attach to Aggron V, and now it doesn't really matter if I attach or if I attack with Arceus V-Star. I think attacking with Arceus V-Star makes the most sense here, because if I do that and then bossed up Lumineon, I could just go Aggron KO Banette with the Rock Slide, 30 damage, but I did not think of that back then. I only thought about it just now. Here, I'm going to have to force them to have third boss, which most Gardevoir decks don't run, but maybe this one does because you're trying to item lock it. This really isn't a Gardevoir deck to begin with. It's an item lock deck with Banette EX. So they probably do run third boss, like a high count of boss, just to get those boss stalls out. Which is why digging for Cheren's Care is so huge right now, and why I didn't use Cheren's Care earlier to pick up the Arceus V-Star, because I knew that if they gust stalled Slaking like they just did, I'm going to want to be able to pick up the Slaking, and then switch into Aggron, and then never bench that Slaking again. Where do they move these damage counters? Looks like off the Slaking and then onto the Aggron. And then they just item lock me again. Can't use Ultra Ball to thin, which is fine. So we'll just Nest Dash. Iono. We definitely don't Iono here because we're digging for the Cheren's Care. So it looks like I do the right thing. And lo and behold, Cheren's Care. We pick up the Cheren's Care. We promote Aggron V. And then we definitely want to slap that Bravery Charm onto the other Aggron. Yeah, there it is. And then we hit him with a Rock Slide. Spreading some damage around onto the Kazam and onto the Gardevoir. The Gardevoir is actually super smart here because you want that Gardevoir to be low enough so that you can hit it with a Merciless Strike with double turbo on it. 280 will definitely KO that Gardevoir. The 30 damage originally would have been enough as well, but in case they found a way to like heal the Gardevoir, you definitely want that extra like 30 on there. So now they attach another energy here, and they're probably trying to use Poltergeist just to do a little bit more damage. If they don't Iono me, they do 180 damage, which is quite relevant because that's a lot of damage. That'll be a 2-hit KO, and that's not great. They Poltergeist for 180, so yep, makes sense. Here, now I have to think about playing around the Poltergeist. So I Nest Dash to 1, ends up being a boss's orders. I think I just take the KO here with Rock Slide, and then I take another KO onto Alakazam just to go down to 1 prize card. And I could just hold the boss's orders here. So I think that's what I'm contemplating. Do I gust something up to spread more damage around, or do I just take the KO and then take a KO on Alakazam? And that's what I do. I just continue to make it easier to KO Gardevoir here. I think the smarter idea would have been to just put 30 onto the Banette just to guarantee that if I do find double turbo energy, I can just KO. But yeah, here, if they hit me with a Poltergeist right now, they do KO the Aggron, and that is real tough, because now if I want to KO anything, I have to promote Aggron V and then find another double turbo energy, in which case I only do 260 from 300 because I'll have 2 double turbos, which means my damage goes down by 40 damage instead of 20. So 260 will be enough to KO anything on the board, but except for the Mew and the Banette, which don't have damage counters on them. So that's why I saved the boss instead of playing it. Now here they Iono me to 1, which means that they're doing less with Poltergeist. So if they attach an energy here and hit me with a Poltergeist, then they just don't do enough damage to KO, which is kind of their fault. They should have thought about that. So, and even if they moved damage onto my active Aggron with Painful Spoons, Poltergeist still wouldn't be enough to KO. So I'd be at 260 instead of 280. So yeah, a little bit of a misplay from them to Iono me back down to 1, but here we are. It might just look like they're just gonna Everlasting Darkness me and just prevent me from using tools. Now I just have to dig for a double turbo and a boss again. So there's the double turbo I attached to the active, and now I just need to dig for a boss's orders onto the Lumineon, and I just win. Boss's orders on Radiant Kazam also wins me the game, but we do find boss. We just gust up the Lumineon. I do KO the Gardevoir here, but just to be safe. Promote the Lumineon, take the KO, and take my final prize card. And there it is. There is the W. And they took 0 prize cards. So that's just to show you how strong this deck can be, even against like an item lock deck. Like, you can still play around the item lock just fine, especially with the Cheren's Care in the deck. But yeah, let me just go into my closing thoughts, throw up the deck list, and yeah, that's it. That is Arceus, Aggron, Slaking, and Spiritomb, or I guess Aggron, Slaking, and Spiritomb as they called it in PTCGL. I think you'll get it when you see the Twitter post. But anyway, yep, that's my arc pile. It should be on your left side of the screen. You can take a look at it. My 4 count of boss's orders I just really like. Double Aggron and double Slaking feel great as well. Again, you probably, in that game, you saw that I should have grabbed Spiritomb instead of the second Aggron V, but in the end it didn't matter, I still won, so, you know. But, yeah, Spiritomb, don't sleep on it, it's very good. Even if you're not doing anything against your opponent, like, the Spiritomb will still help you with being able to attack with the Slaking V. Spiritomb would have been useful there, especially early game, just instead of grabbing the Aggron, grabbing Spiritomb so that they couldn't Lumineon V. Yeah. Raihan didn't see too much play there, but it's not like they're taking KOs anyway, so I couldn't use Raihan to begin with. Cheren's Care is a lifesaver, especially when there's a ton of damage being soaked up by Slaking V or Arceus V-Star. You can just hit him with the Cheren's Care, switch into something like an Aggron V or Slaking V to clean up. Yeah, Bravery Charm, really, really good. Especially being able to recycle the Bravery Charm. If it's on a Slaking and you Cheren's Care the Slaking, you can recycle Bravery Charm onto another Pokemon, which is so sick. Yeah, that's one of the lines that you saw in the gameplay footage. I had Bravery Charm on Slaking, I Cheren's Care the Slaking, and then I attached Bravery Charm onto a second Aggron V. So that was one of the cooler lines you can take. Quad Judge, still very powerful. Again, don't sleep on it, like I mentioned in the intro. It's still a very powerful combination. Now, to the experienced Pokemon players, you might notice that the structure of this deck looks a lot like Arctina, and that's because I did base the structure of this deck off of my NAIC Arctina list. This list does run, like, maybe one more energy than Arctina did. I think Arctina ran like 13 energy instead of 14. This has one more item in it instead of Cleansing Gloves and Choice Belt. I have 2 Bravery Charms and Choice Belt, just because Bravery Charm is just so much better than Cleansing Gloves in this deck. You certainly want the Bravery Charm just to increase the HP of Aggron and Slaking to V-Star levels of HP. It's absurd that a basic Pokemon can have 280 HP. That's crazy. But yeah, also or I guess 2 switch options, the single switch and the single escape rope, still felt very good. You shouldn't be switching out very much anyway, just because you're doing so much damage and you're constantly taking KOs, or at least setting up KOs for the future, so you shouldn't be switching out too much. And Cheren's Care acts as a pseudo switch anyway, so if you have something like colorless Pokemon in the active, you can just Cheren's Care it and then switch into something else. But yeah, deck feels very good. Try it. It's a real fun arc pile. If you liked Arctina, you're probably gonna like this deck. It's not as high power level, but it's certainly a little bit more control-y just because of the quad paths and the Spiritomb and like all of the stuff that's in there. And you also don't have to evolve into a V-Star for this list, with the exception of Arceus V-Star, of course. But yeah, you still dish out a ton of damage with Slaking V and Aggron V, and you have the same amount of HP as a V-Star. Like, for a basic, again, I can't stress that enough, that is just insane. But now I'm just rambling. This is the deck list. This has been Aggron, Slaking, and Spiritomb. It is a real fun combination, and I do highly recommend that you give this a try. But yeah, that's it. Be sure to check out my other videos. Paradox Rift is coming out real soon, so be sure to expect Paradox Rift content at some point. I did buy a case of Paradox Rift, so I might make a video of just me cracking open my case of Paradox Rift. Yeah, that's it. Go check out my other videos. If you like the video, hit a like, subscribe even. I've grown a lot in subscribers, even though I only have like 20 subscribers. That's still like way more than I ever thought I would ever get on this channel, so thanks for the support. Share it with your friends if you want them to check out this video, cringe at my misplays. But hey, we're all learning together, so yep, check out my other videos. You might like my Decidueye EX video that I did a little while back. That's been popping off, so yeah. I guess I'll catch you on the flip side when Paradox Rift releases. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.